Hello, I'm Tony Bradman, Chair of the Authors Licensing and Collecting Society. Welcome to the ALCS Annual Awards online version. Usually these awards are presented at the Winter All-Party Parliamentary Writers Group meeting, to which many of you will have been in the past. Last year we held the event at the ALCS offices instead. We share those in central London and they have a terrific view over the Thames, Tower Bridge and HMS Belfast. Sadly this year things are very different. We might not be able to celebrate these fantastic awards together in person, and sadly we can't provide the wine and canapes or conversation that we'd like to, but I hope that we can still create a little bit of magic and make a real celebration of presenting these two awards this afternoon. ALCS of course pays individual writers, our members, the money that we've collected for them. We also think it's really important to back initiatives that help support the wider reading community, so we fund a number of projects such as the two awards that are being presented today. I think this year has demonstrated even more than ever the importance of writers and what we do. Writers often work from home or on their own, but our work adds so much to other people's lives. Research carried out by the Reading Agency has shown that 1 in 3 adults were reading more during lockdown as a form of escapism or distraction, and research by the National Literacy Trust also showed that 1/3 of children were reading more too, with almost half having read new books. Even more important, the research showed that children's enjoyment of reading had increased too. In fact, the creative industries as a whole have really risen to the challenge of continuing to enrich people's lives from afar. It hasn't all been Zoom quizzes in our pyjamas. We've seen all sorts of creative solutions to the situation we find ourselves in. Lockdown filmed episodes of popular TV shows, draw-along sessions with children's illustrators, and lots of authors reading their works online to help to connect virtually with their audiences. Personally speaking, I've done quite a few virtual panels, some webinars, and lots of online author visits to children in schools. I do feel sorry for the kids sometimes. I'm not sure that I'd like to see my face looming from a big screen dominating one end of the classroom, but those sessions have been great fun, for me at least, and it shows that we writers can still keep in touch with our readers until the crisis is over. Awards ceremonies have also continued, and with the added benefit of not having to queue outside in the cold and wet. Some have continued as live events, and others like this one have been filmed in advance. But the celebration of writers and writing continues. And so on to the awards today. The two awards this afternoon are celebrating authors who help others, in educating young people and in improving literacy in areas that are of the utmost importance to ALCS. Can I ask that if any of you want to post about this event on social media at all, use the hashtag ALCS Awards. And now to find out more about them. The first award to be presented today is the ALCS Educational Writers Award. This has been running for 13 years and is administered by the Society of Authors. The award is for an outstanding example of traditionally published non-fiction and is this year being presented for a book published during 2018 and 2019 for the 11 to 18 age range. It is the UK's only award for creative educational writing. It celebrates educational writing that inspires creativity, encourages students to read widely and build up their understanding of a subject beyond the requirements of exam specification. Past winners in this age category have included Kath Senker, Ruth Thompson and Bill Bryson, and the books have covered topics such as the Holocaust or the plight of refugees, as well as the more traditional maths and geography. We're now going to find out more about this year's brilliant shortlist.
Hello. I'm Liz Annetts, a librarian at one of the 25 Girls' Day School Trust schools. I've had the great privilege and pleasure to be one of the judges for this year's ALCS Educational Writers Book Award. I have been very fortunate to have worked with fellow judges Charlotte Bagley, who teaches at a large co-educational secondary school in West Berkshire, and award-winning author Barley Ray. After a lengthy discussion, we agreed our shortlist of 5 titles, and those titles are Africa Amazing Africa by Atinuke, Black History Matters by Robin Walker, Earth Heroes by Lily Yeh, Her Story by Catherine Halligan, and How to Be Autistic by Charlotte Amelia Poe. Africa Amazing Africa is a colourful, chatty book providing a comprehensive overview of all the individual countries that make up the huge continent of Africa. It is a lively book, furthering understanding of the culture, language and uniqueness of each country, managing to fit in a lot of information in a compact book. Our next book, Black History Matters. This is a clear, comprehensive book providing an excellent account of Black history and the Black Lives Matter movement. Although aimed at 11 to 18 years, it is a book for all ages as it furthers understanding and it is relevant and timely. It is upfront, well illustrated, and there is a really good glossary and further reading, a must as a curriculum resource. The next book is Earth Heroes, a relevant and timely book with a good range of examples that young people can relate to. This book highlights how small acts by individuals can create change, from the famous to ordinary people from all walks of life, different countries across the world. It grabs your attention and shows how you can contribute and change things to help save the planet. There are good links to follow up for further information. Our fourth book, Her Story. As the title indicates, this book is about women and young girls and their place in world history. There are great topic headings and it is original and vibrant with a good range of illustrations and photos. Most young people will have heard of a lot of the women, but will also find a number that they'd not previously known about. Memorable and motivational quotes from each of the women and young girls are included. Interestingly, it is Emily, not her sister Charlotte Bronte, who is included. There is a useful overview of the topic headings at the end of the book. Fifth and final book we shortlisted, How to Be Autistic. This is a personal account of how Charlotte has and is still controlling or managing autism. Autism is more spoken about and hopefully more understood. This book is an honest personal experience highlighting how autism is different for each person. This book, a story of one individual struggle to be understood and a story from childhood to winning the 2018 Spectrum Art Prize, both moving and informative and powerful. This book is honest, open and raw, and is both moving and humorous. Charlotte reveals the highs and lows of autism, having not been diagnosed until 21. Charlotte writes about having to come to terms with autism, with the realisation that there is no cure. As Charlotte writes, us autistic folk, we have to think outside of the box sometimes. Well, we're already outside of the box. We're boxes upon boxes upon boxes. It's a unique book, and as Charlotte says, you will survive. It is a must read for anyone working in education. So congratulations, Charlotte. A fabulous book. The story of Black history from African kingdoms to Black Lives Matter is a comprehensive, well-illustrated and well-researched book. From African empires to transatlantic slave trade, colonialism to Black history today. This book highlights significant figures in Black history and their struggle for freedom and equality. It highlights how for too long Black history has been neglected. The book contains a comprehensive timeline and a glossary with further information listing a selection of books and websites. It is a powerful book and a must for every school. an amazing amount of information contained in a readable format. So congratulations, Robin, for Black History Matters.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Robin Walker. I'm the author of the book Black History Matters. I won the Authors Licensing and Collecting Society Education Writers Award 2020 for my book Black History Matters. I would like to thank the Society of Authors for choosing my book for this award. I would also like to thank Julia Bird, editor at Hachette, for commissioning this children's education book, whose title has proven extremely relevant to the unfolding political events of the last 12 months. What winning this award by the Society of Authors means to me is an opportunity to get young people engaging with educational books. Young people can never read too much and can never be exposed to too many books. Young people will take books seriously when they see the adults also taking books seriously. It is a great honor for me to know that my book has been embraced. This will encourage young people to read, engage with Black history, and expand their minds to the world beyond just their own existence.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Douglas. I'm Chief Executive of the National Literacy Trust, and it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you to the 2020 Ruth Rendell Awards. Ruth was an amazing advocate for literacy throughout her career, both as a writer and also as a member of the House of Lords. And the award was instituted to recognise the fact that there is nobody in society more powerful, more effective as an advocate for literacy than a writer, an illustrator, a poet, someone whose very genius is about creating works of literacy. And over the last 4 years, we have made the award to incredible writers, Andy McNabb, Tom Palmer, Cressida Cowell, people who really have been very powerful and very effective in terms of their role in raising the profile of literacy as a universal societal challenge at the moment. And this year, of course, was an extraordinary year. The judges gathered together: Di Redmond, non-executive director of ALCS, Antonia Byatt, chief executive of First Story, Kirsty Telford, deputy director of the Ministry of Stories, and myself gathered together to look at some extraordinary nominations which we received from teachers, librarians, publishers, booksellers, and charities across the country. And those nominations told a very, very important story, that during the first lockdown, writers, illustrators, poets had made a profound effort to support the reading and literacy of children who are out of school, to make a difference to readers when they couldn't access libraries, and to support the literacy of adults when they couldn't access education in colleges, both through digital platforms and through working frequently with frontline services. And we also heard very profoundly how writers and illustrators had become advocates for change. COVID shone a light on inequality in our nation, and many writers actually were on the front line in terms of advocacy for Black Lives Matter, for issues around societal inequalities at that time. So writers were at the heart of the nation during one of the most challenging and passionate moments in our recent history. So it gives me immense pleasure to let you know who the winner is. The winner is somebody who epitomised the way in which the writing community addressed both those challenges. In fact, there's a brilliant quote here from Holly Trafford, who's the Learning Resource Centre assistant at Ivy Bridge Community College, who was one of the people who nominated the winner. She said, "The winner is a big advocate for literacy through poetry and rap hip-hop, reaching out to wider, younger audiences that might not usually enjoy reading or have lower levels of literacy themselves due to societal disadvantages. The winner is very present on social media, doing great live poetry events, as well as being a loud supporter of Black Lives Matter. The winner's poetry and rap style is accessible for all ages, being about issues that children care about massively, like school, homework, but also bigger things like gang crime. This person makes poetry look cool and grown up." This winner is a worthy winner of the Ruth Rendell Awards and shines a light on the power of writers to transform literacy and to transform society. I can't. I'm aware that you don't quite know what is going on here. So I've got some really, really exciting news for you. On an annual basis, the children's literature community, the charities working to encourage children and young people to read, and also adults as well, get together and nominate a number of authors, the authors who have made a huge difference to their campaigns over the year. And it's called the Ruth Rendell Award. It's in honour of Ruth Rendell, who was a great supporter of literacy in the United Kingdom. Right. And this year, over the past 2-3 months, librarians, teachers, charities have been sending nominations in for this year's Ruth Rendell Award. Yeah. And a group of judges met and went through all the nominations, extraordinary nominations, some fantastic writers, poets, illustrators. And we unanimously agreed that this year, Carl Never, you are the Ruth Rendell Award winner in recognition of the extraordinary work you've done promoting poetry during lockdown, the voice you've been promoting poetry to those communities who traditionally might not have champions, and particularly the work you've done in terms of an advocate around issues around Black Lives Matter. So, Carl, you are the winner of the Ruth Rendell 2020 Award. Congratulations.
What? Wow.
So look, clearly you're speechless, and having been on screen with you before, that's unusual.
Thank you. Wow. See, they were telling me it was something, and I'm like, I don't know what this is, but wow, to find out it is this. Thank you so much. I don't know what to say. I just do what I do and keep moving. My face is to the floor. I'm just, I'm not thinking about any other thing, just doing the work. So thank you. I am humbled, pleasantly surprised, as well as honored to receive the Ruth Rendell Award for services to literacy. I'd like to thank the National Literacy Trust as well as ALCS for this honor. Thank you so much. I didn't see this coming. I did not even know I was up for this. And this has been a very difficult year. As a hip-hop artist, performance poet, as well as an author and educator, I've had to adapt to the times. So normally I'll be able to go out to primary schools, secondary schools, colleges, universities, both nationally as well as internationally to do what I do. I've had to adapt. So that means lots of Zoom sessions, Google Meets, Microsoft Teams, and all of that. I'd like to thank authors abroad who have kept me busy this year. They booked me to do all these things, and they were also responsible for the release of my debut book, Rhythm and Poetry, which won the Clipper Poetry Prize. So thank you, authors abroad. This is for us. So salute to Robin, Trevor, Lisa, Julie, Yvonne, and Keely, and the whole team. Thank you so much. I also like to thank all the numerous bodies and organizations that opened their doors and hearts to me this year, even though we had to adapt. So I'd like to thank the Premier League, who I worked on for the Premier League Writing Stars competition, which was great. They asked me to write a poem, and I just did it, and we were able to run that. I'd like to thank National Poetry Day. I'm a proud ambassador of poetry in this country as well as beyond. I'd like to thank the Story Museum because I'm their artist in residence. I'd like to thank Hay Festival, Bradford Lit Fest. Am I forgetting anybody? I think I've gotten everybody. I also want to shout out Hip Hop Ed. This is for hip-hop educators worldwide. My doorways into being who I am today were through the doors of hip-hop and spoken word slam poetry. That's how I started writing, and that's how I became a poet, a hip-hop artist, and ultimately now an educator as well. So salute to Hip Hop Ed and all hip hop educators worldwide. And so once again, I'd like to thank the National Literacy Trust and ALCS for this wonderful honor. Thank you so much. I will keep doing what I'm doing. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in. Congratulations to all the brilliant winners.